Chosen one, listen carefully because this moment carries something different. There were things kept just beyond your understanding, not to confuse you, but because you weren't meant to see the full picture until now. You kept moving forward without answers, questioning why certain things didn't make sense, why some doors stayed closed, and why clarity never fully came. But now, something is changing. The silence that once surrounded your situation is starting to break. What was hidden is beginning to rise to the surface, and when it does, it won't come in pieces. It will come with clarity. The connections you couldn't see before are about to become obvious, and the meaning behind everything you experienced will start to reveal itself. This isn't just information, it's a shift in understanding, and once you see it, you won't be able to go back to the way you saw things before. The information that was being held back on purpose. There are times when it feels like something important is missing, as if there is a piece of understanding just out of reach. You move forward. You try to make sense of situations, yet certain answers never fully arrive. This can create a sense of confusion, especially when you feel like you are ready to understand more. But not all information is meant to be received immediately. Some truths are held back until the right moment, not to delay you, but to protect your direction and your ability to handle what comes with that knowledge. When information arrives too early, it can create pressure instead of clarity. You may try to force decisions before you fully understand the situation, or you may become overwhelmed by possibilities that you are not yet prepared to navigate. By allowing time to pass, your awareness grows naturally. You begin to see things from a wider perspective, which makes it easier to understand the deeper meaning behind what is being revealed. Another reason certain information is held back is because your path needs to unfold step by step. If everything were revealed at once, it could change the way you move forward in ways that are not helpful. You might hesitate, overthink, or take directions that lead away from the experiences you were meant to have. By keeping some parts hidden for a while, your journey continues in a way that allows growth to happen gradually. During this period, you are still learning, even if it does not feel that way. Every experience adds something to your understanding. Challenges teach patience, uncertainty builds awareness, and small moments help you recognize what truly matters. These lessons create a foundation that prepares you to receive deeper insights later on. When the right moment arrives, the information that was once out of reach begins to make sense. It does not come as confusion, it comes as clarity. Instead of feeling overwhelming, it fits naturally into what you have already experienced. You are able to understand it without forcing anything, and it aligns with the direction you are already moving in. You may also notice that once one piece of information becomes clear, other pieces begin to connect with it. What once felt scattered starts forming a complete picture. This connection creates a stronger sense of confidence because you can now see how everything relates to your journey. Understanding that some information is held back on purpose changes how you view periods of uncertainty. Instead of seeing them as empty or frustrating, you begin to recognize them as part of a process that is preparing you for something more complete. It shows that timing plays an important role in how and when you receive clarity. When information arrives at the right time, it supports your growth instead of disrupting it. It allows you to move forward with a clearer mind, a stronger sense of direction, and a deeper understanding of what is unfolding around you. 2. Why you were moving without full clarity. There are periods when you find yourself moving forward without fully understanding where things are leading. You make decisions, take steps, and continue progressing, yet something always feels incomplete. The direction is there, but the full picture is not. This can feel uncomfortable because people naturally want certainty before they move. However, not having full clarity at certain times is often part of how growth happens. When everything is known in advance, movement can become limited by hesitation. You begin to analyze every possible outcome, and instead of taking action, you remain stuck in thought. By not having all the answers, you are guided to act based on instinct, effort, and willingness to move forward. This creates real experience instead of imagined outcomes. And those experiences teach you more than information alone ever could. Moving without full clarity also allows you to develop trust in your own decisions. When you cannot rely on complete knowledge, you begin to rely on your judgment. Each step you take builds confidence because you learn how to handle uncertainty. You start understanding that progress does not always require perfect conditions. It requires movement, even when things are not fully defined. Another reason clarity is not always present is because your path is still unfolding. Certain parts of your journey depend on choices you have not yet made and situations that have not yet formed. If everything were clear from the beginning, it would remove the flexibility needed for your direction to adjust as you grow. By moving step by step, your path shapes itself naturally around your actions and experiences. This process also helps you focus on what is immediately in front of you. Instead of becoming overwhelmed by the future, you pay attention to the present moment. You handle one decision, one situation at a time. This focused approach makes progress more manageable and prevents unnecessary pressure from trying to control everything at once. As you continue moving, you begin to notice that clarity starts to appear gradually. What once felt uncertain begins to make sense through experience. Situations that seemed confusing reveal their purpose through the outcomes they produce. Each step adds a small piece to the overall understanding, and eventually those pieces begin to connect. There is also a certain strength that develops from this process. You become more adaptable, more aware, and more capable of handling change. Instead of depending on certainty, you become comfortable with movement itself. This ability allows you to continue progressing even when conditions are not perfect. When you understand why you were moving without full clarity, it changes how you see those moments. Instead of viewing them as confusion or lack of direction, you begin to recognize them as part of a process that helped you grow. It shows that progress is not always about knowing everything in advance, but about being willing to move forward and learn along the way. 3. The hidden pattern you couldn't see before. There are times when events in your life seem disconnected, as if each situation stands on its own without any clear link to the next. You experience moments of progress, followed by delays, unexpected changes, and outcomes that do not seem to match your expectations. This can create the feeling that everything is random or unpredictable. But often, what appears scattered is actually part of a larger pattern that is not immediately visible. When you are in the middle of these experiences, your focus is usually on what is happening right now. You respond to each situation as it comes, trying to understand it on its own. Because of this, it becomes difficult to see how one event may be connected to another. The pattern remains hidden, not because it does not exist, but because it requires a broader view that develops gradually. As time passes and you move through different situations, certain connections begin to form. You may notice that challenges led you to new opportunities, or that a delay redirected you toward a better path. Decisions you made earlier may start to show results that were not obvious at the time. These connections reveal that what once seemed unrelated was actually part of a sequence guiding you forward. Another reason this pattern is not easy to recognize at first is because it builds step by step. Each experience adds a small piece, but those pieces do not form a complete picture until enough of them come together. Until that point, it can feel like you are moving through isolated moments rather than a continuous process. Your awareness also plays an important role in recognizing this pattern. As you gain more understanding, you begin to look at situations differently. Instead of seeing events as separate, you start noticing how they influence each other. This shift in perspective allows you to connect ideas, decisions, and outcomes in a way that creates a clearer sense of direction. The hidden pattern often becomes clearer when you pause and reflect on the direction your path has taken. You begin to see that certain experiences prepared you for others, and that each step had a role in shaping what came next. This realization brings a sense of structure to what once felt uncertain. Recognizing this pattern also helps you move forward with more confidence. When you understand that your experiences are connected, it becomes easier to trust the process you are in. You start to see that even the moments that felt confusing or difficult were contributing to something meaningful. The hidden pattern you could not see before was always forming in the background. It was built through your actions, your choices, and the circumstances you moved through. Once it begins to reveal itself, it changes how you understand your journey, showing that there was a direction guiding you all along, even when it was not immediately clear. 4. When the missing pieces suddenly appear. There are points in your journey when everything feels incomplete, as if something important is missing but you cannot identify exactly what it is. You move forward with effort and intention, yet there is always a sense that the full picture has not been revealed. You may understand parts of your situation, but not enough to feel completely certain about your direction. This can create hesitation, because it is difficult to act with confidence when key pieces seem absent. Then there comes a moment when those missing pieces begin to appear. It does not always happen all at once, but it can feel sudden because of how quickly clarity starts forming. Information that was unclear becomes understandable. Situations that felt disconnected begin to link together. What once seemed confusing starts to make sense in a way that feels natural rather than forced. These pieces can show up in different ways. Sometimes it is through a conversation that gives you a new perspective. Other times it comes from an opportunity that fits exactly with what you have been trying to achieve. It can also come from your own thoughts becoming clearer, allowing you to recognize patterns and connections that you did not notice before. Each of these moments adds something valuable to your understanding. One reason these pieces appear when they do is because you have reached a point where you are ready to recognize them. Earlier, the same information might not have made sense or might have been overlooked. As your awareness grows, you become more capable of understanding how everything fits together. This readiness allows clarity to arrive in a way that feels complete rather than confusing. As the pieces begin to come together, your direction becomes easier to follow. Decisions that once felt uncertain start to feel more defined. Instead of questioning every step, you begin to move with a stronger sense of purpose. This shift reduces hesitation and allows you to focus on what truly matters. Another important aspect of this moment is the sense of alignment it creates. When the missing pieces appear, it often feels like different parts of your life are finally working together instead of pulling in different directions. This alignment makes progress smoother and more consistent, because your actions, understanding, and opportunities are now connected. You may also notice that this clarity brings a new level of confidence. It is not based on knowing everything, but on understanding enough to move forward without doubt. This confidence allows you to take action with intention, trusting that the path ahead is becoming clearer with each step. When the missing pieces suddenly appear, it marks a transition from uncertainty to understanding. It shows that the process you were going through was leading to this moment of clarity. What once felt incomplete begins to form a whole, and the path that once seemed unclear starts to reveal its direction in a way that you can now fully see and follow. 5. The real reason things didn't make sense earlier. There are phases in life when nothing seems to fully come together. You try to understand what is happening, but every explanation feels incomplete. You question decisions, circumstances, and even your own direction because the outcomes do not match what you expected. This lack of clarity can feel frustrating, especially when you are trying to move forward with purpose. But the reason things did not make sense earlier is not because there was no meaning. It is because the full picture was not yet available to you. Understanding requires perspective, and perspective develops gradually. When you are in the middle of a situation, your view is limited to what is immediately in front of you. You see events as they happen, but you do not yet have the context needed to understand why they are happening. Without that context, it is natural for things to feel confusing or disconnected. The meaning exists, but it cannot be fully recognized until more pieces are revealed. Another reason for this confusion is that your awareness was still growing. At earlier points, you may not have had the experience or understanding required to interpret what you are going through. As you encounter different situations, your ability to process information improves. You begin to notice patterns, recognize connections, and understand the deeper reasons behind events. This growth changes how you see things, allowing clarity to replace confusion. Timing also plays a significant role. Certain insights cannot arrive before their moment. If you had understood everything earlier, it might have influenced your decisions in ways that would have taken you off your intended path. By not having full clarity, you continued moving forward in a way that allowed your journey to unfold naturally. The lack of understanding protected the process, even though it felt uncertain at the time. There is also the factor of emotional readiness. Some truths carry weight, and receiving them too early can create pressure or overwhelm. When you are still developing your ability to handle challenges, certain realizations may feel too heavy. As you grow stronger and more stable, you become better equipped to handle deeper understanding. At that point, clarity arrives in a way that supports you rather than disrupts you. Situations themselves also evolve. What does not make sense at one point may only reveal its purpose after it has played out. Events often depend on outcomes that have not yet occurred. Until those outcomes take shape, the meaning behind earlier moments remains unclear. Once everything begins to connect, what once seemed random starts to form a logical sequence. Another important aspect is how your focus changes over time. Earlier, you may have been focused on immediate results, expecting quick answers or visible progress. When those results did not appear, it created doubt. As your perspective shifts, you begin to value long-term understanding over immediate clarity. This change allows you to see beyond short-term confusion and recognize the larger direction your path is taking. When understanding finally begins to form, it often feels natural rather than forced. The confusion fades not because everything suddenly becomes simple, but because the connections between events become clearer. You start to see how one experience led to another, how certain delays created better opportunities, and how your own growth played a role in shaping the outcome. The real reason things did not make sense earlier is that you were still in the process of becoming the person who could understand them. Clarity was not missing. It was developing alongside you. As your awareness expanded, the meaning behind your experiences became easier to recognize. This realization changes how you view confusion. Instead of seeing it as a sign of being lost, you begin to see it as part of a process that leads to deeper understanding. It shows that not everything needs to be clear immediately for progress to happen. Sometimes, meaning reveals itself only after enough time, growth, and experience have come together to support it. When clarity arrives, it does more than answer questions. It provides direction, confidence, and a stronger sense of purpose. What once felt uncertain begins to feel connected, and the path ahead becomes easier to follow because you now understand how the pieces fit together. 6. How this reveal changes your position completely. There are moments when understanding does more than answer questions. It changes how you stand in your own life. When something that was hidden becomes clear, it doesn't just add information, it shifts your entire position. The way you see situations, the way you respond, and the way you move forward all begin to change at once. What once felt uncertain or confusing no longer holds the same weight, because now you are operating from clarity instead of assumption. Before this reveal, you may have been reacting to situations without fully understanding them. Decisions might have felt hesitant, and your direction may have been influenced by incomplete information. This can create a sense of imbalance, where you are moving forward but not with full confidence. Once clarity arrives, that imbalance begins to disappear. You are no longer guessing, you are understanding. This shift alone strengthens your position because it allows you to act with intention. One of the biggest changes happens in how you make decisions. Instead of second-guessing yourself, you begin to trust what you see and what you know. Your choices become more precise because they are based on a clearer picture of your situation. This clarity removes unnecessary doubt and allows you to focus your energy on actions that truly matter. As a result, your progress becomes more direct and less scattered. Another important shift is how you handle challenges. When you understand the structure behind what is happening, obstacles no longer feel as overwhelming. You begin to see them as part of a process rather than as random disruptions. This perspective reduces frustration and replaces it with awareness. You become more strategic in how you respond, which strengthens your ability to move through difficulties without losing direction. This reveal also changes how others and situations interact with you. When your position becomes stronger internally, it often reflects outwardly. You carry yourself with more certainty, and your actions become more aligned with your understanding. This can influence the way opportunities appear and how people respond to you. Instead of feeling controlled by circumstances, you begin to feel more in control of your direction. There is also a shift in focus. Earlier, you may have been trying to figure everything out at once, searching for answers in multiple directions. With clarity, your attention narrows to what is truly important. You begin to recognize which paths are worth following and which ones no longer need your energy. This focused approach allows you to move forward more efficiently without being distracted by unnecessary options. Another change is the sense of confidence that develops. This confidence is not based on knowing everything, but on understanding enough to move forward without hesitation. You trust your ability to handle what comes next, because you have already navigated uncertainty and reached a point of clarity. This trust strengthens your position, allowing you to take steps that once felt difficult or uncertain. The reveal also connects your past experiences to your present understanding. What once seemed confusing or disconnected begins to show its purpose. You realize that each step you took contributed to this moment of clarity. This connection creates a stronger sense of direction because you can now see how your path has been forming over time. As your position changes, your movement changes with it. You are no longer moving based on incomplete views or temporary reactions. You are moving with awareness, intention, and a clearer sense of purpose. This shift allows you to take control of your direction in a way that feels stable and aligned with your growth. How this reveal changes your position completely is not just about gaining answers. It is about becoming someone who can use those answers effectively. It transforms the way you think, the way you act, and the way you see your journey. What once felt uncertain becomes structured, and what once felt out of reach begins to feel possible. This new position gives you the ability to move forward with clarity and confidence, knowing that your understanding is no longer limited in the same way. It marks the beginning of a different phase, one where your actions are guided by awareness rather than uncertainty, and where your path becomes clearer with every step you take. 7. The moment you realize nothing was accidental. There comes a point where your understanding shifts in a quiet but powerful way. What once felt like a series of unrelated events begins to form a clear and connected structure. Situations that seemed random, delays that felt unnecessary, and outcomes that once confused you start to reveal a deeper order. This realization does not arrive as a sudden shock, but as a steady awareness that everything you experienced had a place in shaping your direction. At earlier points, it was easy to see events as isolated. You responded to each moment based on what you could see at the time, without having access to the full picture. Because of this, certain experiences felt unfair, unexpected, or difficult to understand. But as clarity grows, you begin to recognize that those moments were not separate from your path. They were part of it. This realization often begins with small connections. You notice how one decision led to another, how a delay created space for a better opportunity, or how a challenge helped you develop a skill you later needed. These connections may seem simple at first, but together they create a pattern that shows how everything has been working together in a meaningful way. Another part of this understanding comes from how your perspective changes. Instead of focusing only on what went wrong or what did not make sense, you begin to see how each experience contributed to your growth. What once felt like a setback can now be seen as a step that guided you in a more suitable direction. This shift in perspective transforms confusion into understanding, You may also begin to recognize timing in a new way. Certain events did not happen earlier because the conditions were not ready. Other moments occurred exactly when they needed to, even if they felt unexpected at the time. This awareness shows that your journey has been unfolding with a sense of order, even when it was not immediately visible. As this realization deepens, it changes how you view your past and your future. The past no longer feels like a collection of random events, but as a sequence that has led you to your current position. The future begins to feel more open, because you understand that your path can continue to develop in ways that align with your growth. This moment also brings a sense of calm. When you understand that nothing was accidental, there is less need to question every detail or worry about every outcome. You begin to trust that your experiences are contributing to your direction, even when you cannot see the full picture immediately. Another important aspect is how this understanding influences your actions. With this awareness, you become more intentional in how you move forward. You recognize the value of each step and approach decisions with greater care. This helps you build on the progress you have already made and continue moving in a way that supports your development. The realization that nothing was accidental does not mean every moment was easy or expected. It means that each experience had a role, even if that role was not clear at the time. It shows that your journey has been shaped by a combination of choices, circumstances, and timing that together created the path you are now on. When this understanding becomes clear, it strengthens your sense of direction. You are no longer trying to make sense of isolated events. Instead, you see how everything connects, how each part supports the whole, and how your path continues to unfold with purpose. This moment marks a deeper level of awareness, one where confusion is replaced with connection and uncertainty is replaced with understanding. It allows you to move forward with a clearer mind, knowing that every step you have taken has contributed to where you are now and where you are going next. Chosen one, this moment is not about finally getting answers, it's about finally seeing clearly. What once felt uncertain is beginning to settle into understanding. The questions that stayed with you, the confusion that slowed you down, and the silence that made you doubt, all of it is starting to make sense in a different way. Now you are no longer moving blindly. There is a new awareness guiding your decisions, a clearer sense of direction shaping your next steps. What is being revealed is not just information, it's a shift in how you see everything around you. From here, the path becomes more intentional. You begin to recognize what matters, what aligns, and what no longer belongs in your direction. This clarity gives you the ability to move forward with confidence instead of hesitation. If this message connected with you, share your thoughts below and let others know they are not alone in this moment of understanding. Stay aware, stay focused, and keep moving forward, because what is being revealed now may change the way you see your journey completely.